Hello. Hello, sis. Thank you for joining. Good evening. Okay, so for my Facebook family, I'm slightly on to the side. That's because on Instagram, I'm right, like the system is right in front of me. So yes, thank you for joining. Thank you. Hey, Nurse Abby, how are you?
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you? Have you joined on Instagram?
Okay, I am joining right now.
Yes, because we've got people join on Instagram already, so we just need to make sure that we are there. Hey, Flaky, thank you for joining. Yes. How are you doing? So I've got Nurse Abigail on. Yes, so she's joined. So I'm just going to add her in. So if you can request to join, and I'll just add you in. Yeah, I think she's right. Yeah. I have accepted. Hey, David, Mr. Flat. Hello. Hi, Abigail. How are you?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. So have you there. So let me just say this quickly. I know people are still joining, so we're going to just give people a couple of minutes to join. Yeah. Hey, sis, aloha. Thank you for joining. Guys, on Instagram, you will find me looking left like every now and then. That's because we are streaming live on Facebook as well. So if you want to join on Facebook, you can join via the Conversations with BBJ on Facebook. So we've got a Facebook page, so you can join from there. Hey, Tosi. Hey, Sumbo. Thank you for joining. Good evening, ladies. Glad to have you on. For those on Facebook Live, please, if you've joined, just put something in the comment. Let me know that you're there, so I know who's joined us. I'm sure Nurse Abby is ready to get it started. Like, she has come down from the throne place, and is so loaded. Yes, thank you all so very much for joining. Thank you, really appreciate it. Yes, thank you all. I think I need to get out of my WhatsApp from my laptop, because I'm getting messages. Hey, sis, Elizabeth Hash. Okay, so shout out to EAI. All of this decor is all of EAI's work. So, oh, Grace. Oh, yes. So you took KG's account, right? Okay, that's fine. You're allowed. Don't worry, it's fine. Yes, glad to have you here, sis. Glad to have you. On Facebook, I was saying that you'll find me looking to my left every now and then. That's because we have got people join on Facebook Live as well. So just to get everyone together. This is very, very important. So we have only got 60 minutes. And right now it is 9:34. So I would say, Nurse Abigail, if you don't mind, if you're happy, we kickstart at, well, I was going to say 7:35, and it is 7:35.
It's 7:35 right now.
Already. All right. So let's just start, because we want to be able to cover as much as possible within the time that we have. So good evening again, everyone who's joined. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. This is going to be a great conversation. For all that have joined on Instagram, welcome, good evening, great to have you. And those who are on Facebook Live, it is great to have you guys. Thank you so much. I would say that just before we start, if you've got any questions, I'm sure you guys have questions on waist trainers. So do me a favor. I'm just going to pin the conversation here. Do me a favor, please, and send your comment into the chat, so we can start to read them. Yes. So thank you so much. Yeah, people are really joining. So I'm trying to pin the conversation on the screen, so whoever joins later, in case they miss the flyer, they know what we're talking about. Yep. So yes. So thank you Thank you all very much. Really appreciate your time. Welcome. So, Nurse Abigail, I am going to say, first of all, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for
It's so great to have you. I remember I watched one of your lives a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh my word, like, oh my word, you know. And I thought, you know what, it would be good to bring this on here for people to hear, because I'm sure you have quite a lot to share on waist trainers. I'm yet to come across a woman, a lady, let's put it that way, that doesn't have a waist trainers, right? So which is why I know this is going to be a very great conversation. So, Nurse Abigail, as I'm trying to ping the topics for tonight on the screen, can you just welcome our guests, just our viewers for tonight, both on Instagram and on Facebook?
Absolutely. Okay, so first of all, thank you once again for having me, Bibi. This is such a great and wonderful opportunity. And I don't think there are a lot of nurses who are coming out to give this awareness, you know, so it's always great to have the opportunity to do so, to enlighten women, you know, because we all do better when we know better. So by way of introduction, my name is Abigail, as you've all heard. I am a registered nurse by profession. So excuse me, disclaimer, if I look this way, it's because I'm looking at the Facebook audience, because we're just streaming from multiple platforms. But I'll try my best to, you know, keep my focus here. So as I was saying, I'm a registered nurse with over 10 years experience working in both private and NHS practice. So over those years, I've accumulated, you know, a lot of information and knowledge, particularly in the area of women's health, which is my area of speciality. Okay. Now, the topic for this evening is going to be about waist trainers. And a funny story, before I get into it, the reason why I actually wanted to speak out about this was because, you know, I was doing a clear out just a few months back. And I remember coming across, like, you know, where you have old clothes and you just think, oh, do you know what? I'm accumulating so much clothes.
Yes.
Let me get rid of some.
Yes.
And what did I find? My old waist trainer.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Like, do you know what? I can't imagine wearing this. And the reason why, I tell you why. The reason why is because, like I said, as a health professional, I've got to the point whereby I don't just do things blindly. Like, I don't just follow the masses just because someone or people are doing something.
So can I just stop you there for a minute? So before you start to go into the juice of the everything, you know, let me just quickly say that I mean, this is in no way trying to say that, oh, don't use waist trainers, it's not good for you or whatever. It's still your own decision, but it's just about having that information, you know. I mean, the Bible says that you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. Some people would know the truth about something and will still decide to do the opposite of it, right? So so before we get started, as I said, our viewers on Instagram, so you find myself and Nurse Abby going that way, like this way, it's because we've got people on Facebook as well. So just trying to acknowledge them, make sure they can see our faces. But before we go into like the meat of it all, I would ask that our viewers tonight, please send in your questions. Any questions at all you have on waist trainers where you think it is for you, so send. But before you start doing that, I'd like to say something, because I actually read into waist trainers. So I am personally, I mean, you know me, I'm a slim person, and waist trainers hasn't really been something for me. Like, I've worn it maybe a couple of times, but not really something that I wear like constantly. Of course, we know there are people who can get into anything without using the waist trainer, and it works for them, right? And so I read into where this old waist trainers thing came from. And to be honest, I searched everywhere and no one is certain about the origins of waist trainers. You know,
Okay.
all we know is that it goes back to like history. So it's like from 19th century is when they actually started to see some articles being written about it, but it goes a long way more than that. And we know now actually that even since then, it was like corsets that people wear to kind of get that
yes, that's the
hourglass
it's from
shape.
corsets. Yeah,
Exactly. But now we want to address it from the modern term waist trainers that we all know now, that we all use now, right?
Yeah.
So I've got a first question for you, Nurse Abigail, because I know you're going to get into everything, and I'm sure our viewers as well will be asking their questions. My first question is that what do you think? I mean, being a nurse, and as you said, you're a registered nurse, so you've been a nurse for over 10 years. And I'm sure you've come across so many different things, right? So what do you think really drives women into wanting to use a waist trainer?
Okay. Well, the first obvious answer to that is I believe that there is a lot of pressure on women to look and appear a certain way. Okay. And for me, like, I'll use myself an example. Before I started having children, I had quite a slim frame anyway. But then certainly after you have children, the body changes, you know, your shape changes, everything changes, you know, and there's always that pressure. I guess that's where the term snap back comes from, because you're wanting to go back to your original state, which in a sense can't be possible. Like, you can work towards being a better version or losing weight, but you can never go back to the original, you know, form. So I think, a lot of it is to do with pressure. Women feel like, okay, do you know what? Especially when you see other women who are slim, you know, you compare yourself and you think, oh, do you know what? I don't have, again, it might be time. People say, oh, I don't have the time to exercise, so we're looking for quick fixes, you know. This is where the waist trainer industry are capitalizing on women, okay? Because there's that urgency, you know, that need to you know, snap back or to look a certain way, you know. So
you think that it is the pressure
absolutely
that is on a woman. So even though you've gone through that 9 months journey of carrying a pregnancy, giving birth to a baby, and you still have that pressure to snap back, right? So but is there anything else other than pressure? Because, you know, I say that we should be able to take responsibility as well for whatever it is that we do, right? So of course there is like the peer pressure, there is the expectations put on us by other people, but in terms of what we want to do ourselves, do you think, is there any other way or any other reason you think women choose to use waist trainers?
Then another reason, and now I don't know if anyone is familiar, like, please put it in the chat. Anyone is familiar with this celebrity, Kim Kardashian? Okay, so Kim Kardashian is, I think she is actually the what's that word? Ambassador, the brand waist trainers, because this is how this lady makes her money. All she do is go on Instagram and put up a post wearing a waist trainer. She's got over millions of followers. They see that and they're like, you know what? If it's working for her, or not even if it's working for her, but if she said waist trainers are good, or they do this or do, it must be true. And we stop and do the research. And that's why I'm here tonight. I'm not vilifying waist trainers, but what I am saying is, please do the research. If the benefits you find far outweighs, you know, the side effects for you, then go ahead. But you must be able to make an informed decision.
That's fantastic. That's really fantastic. So what I want us to do is, I would like you to talk to us generally about waist trainers, everything that you think that we need to know to make the right decision, to make an informed decision. But before we do that, there is a question on Instagram by EAI, and she said, is waist trainer ideal for diastasis recti? I don't know what that is, but I'm hoping that there is a word like that out there. So if not, Elizabeth Ash Interiors, please. Does that work? Can you see that?
Diastasis recti.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that, I'm thinking that that is a condition or something, you know. So, but I mean, I've never heard of it before, so I don't know. But yeah, so
my first answer to that is, one, waist trainer is not a medical device. It is more of a cosmetic, what's it called? So definitely, if we want to break it down in that terms, I wouldn't say it's ideal for any condition. All it is really is just a garment that a woman wears in order for her to feel more, either more feminine or to basically, you know, appear slimmer. So I hope that answers your question.
So Elizabeth Ash, I hope that helps. I mean, if it doesn't, please just put it in the comments. Say what you would like to hear about. I mean, I haven't heard of that word before, so I don't know if that's it's a medical. It sounds like a medical something.
Yeah.
But yes, but at least it's good that you clear that waist trainer isn't.
Even women who, because like I do, I've worked in like a surgical ward before where women had like either a stomach resection whereby they actually make the stomach smaller, they cut off excess skin, and women have to wear what they call a compression garment after the procedure, and it's for two reasons. One is to actually help the woman so that she's not engaging her core muscles, so that it gives for those muscles to heal and repair. Okay. And then the second reason, obviously, is just to help with the contouring. You understand? So women would wear that in that sense after, you know, certain cosmetic procedures, but certainly not for any other medical condition.
Fantastic. That's really good. Thank you. I mean, it is clear now. So I mean, I've heard it from you tonight that a waist trainer isn't a medical instrument at all. It's basically cosmetic. So, and anything that is cosmetic, as you know, to be honest, it's always about your own personal decision. It's like, okay, yes, you either choose to use it or you don't, right? So can I ask you to please tell us a bit more about the usage of the use of waist trainers? Like, okay, so how do you think you have, or how have you seen people use it? I'm glad that you've got one that you found in your wardrobe. So do you want to just take us on the journey of how you use it and what you found about waist trainers?
Okay, absolutely. So originally I'm from Nigeria. Okay, so I remember it wasn't even after having my first child. It was after my second child, right? And I remember there was a time where, like, I had family members come over, you know, I thought they were helping with, you know, with the children, but it was after my own weight that they were after. So it's like, oh, you know what, your tummy, if you don't do anything about it, it's gonna forever stay protruded or whatever, and it's not good for the healing, it's not this. And they came up with so much concoctions. I even remember there was a time where they had this, they call it oja, you know, in my country. It's like just like a cloth,
like a wrapper.
They tie it across your tummy, you know, and you know, they would ask me to sit on, you know, on a steam bucket. Oh, just even thinking about it makes me, you know. So a friend of mine was like, you know what, all this is just like a backward thing. There's an in thing, and that's the waist trainer. So that's the story behind the waist trainer. I invested in one because, you know, they said it would actually help you to, you know, to shrink your waist and to push your tummy in. And that's what got me. So I'm like, okay, let me try it. I'm going out, you know, the husband, we're going to a function. I have this dress that without the waist trainer, my tummy was out, it was protruding. I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, no, like I would just felt discouraged. Like, you know, I just want to stay home. I don't look good. I don't feel good.
Yeah.
You know, the husband's like, hurry up, we've got to go. You know, the first child is like, oh, mommy, everyone vying for your attention. And all you want to do is, you just want to go out, have a good time, but you want to look good. You want to feel confident, okay?
Yeah.
And I remember it took me literally like half an hour to get this thing on, because she was like, no, you don't put it on the first hook. You have to try and get it all the way to the last hook, because it's not going to work. It's not going to. So I'm struggling. I'm trying to get this thing on. Finally, I get it on. I'm sweating, by the time I put on my outfit, like, I go downstairs and I even get a compliment like, "Oh, you're looking good," you know, because I looked uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I was in so much pain. The thing was tight. I was in so much pain. Like, there's one thing when you're looking good, but you also have to feel good as well. But I wasn't feeling good.
exactly. Yes,
because the thing was
yes.
uncomfortable.
But
Anyway,
you know
so
what?
that's that.
Sorry, no, Abigail,
Yeah.
before you move on, that is quite interesting, you know,
Mm,
especially when you talk about you wear it and you're in pains, right?
mm,
But the truth is, even though you're in pains, you still
yeah.
find yourself just smiling and suffering,
Brain.
you know, all in the name of I want
You know,
to. But the question I have got is, apart from the fact that it gives you the hourglass shape, does
yeah.
it really help to lose weight?
Okay. So this is where that's where the myth is, and that's where the marketeers try to get women in, because they're giving you this false expectation that it helps you lose weight. The only thing that waist trainers helps you lose is water weight. It doesn't help you to lose fat. And the reason why it helps you to lose water weight is because the material that it's made from is what we call a non-breathable material. It's designed to trap heat, which is why they recommend that you use it while you're exercising, because you can work up a sweat even more. Okay. But the danger there, and this is from, you know, medical talk, the danger there is when you're exercising, you're sweating, you're losing weight, you have water, you become dehydrated, which is good.
Yeah.
So the only thing that waist trainers actually does, and why it might appear that you feel lighter or you're losing weight, is that you're losing water weight. But once this thing comes off, your shape, your stomach, it goes back to the way it was. You know,
And that's because
designed
sorry, I was gonna say, and that's because you're only losing water as
wait,
opposed to
right.
the fat.
That's right.
So we want to really make that clear that if I wear, I work out, right? I don't wear any waist trainers or anything, and I sweat naturally. So as I'm working out, I'm sweating. So it's exactly what waist trainer would do for me, just making me sweat more. So I'm losing that water, but the fat is still there.
Exactly.
So I hope yes, I was going to say, I hope our guests, our viewers are hearing this, because it is important to understand. So is there a way to know whether you need to lose water or you need to lose fat?
Okay. So first of all, I always recommend women do this, and that is to actually check your waist circumference. Okay. Ideally, a woman's waist should never be over 34 inch. So 34 inches waist. Okay. Because they say that as a woman, if your waistline is above 34 inches, you're more at risk of type 2 diabetes and the likes, okay? But the main fat that you want to watch out for is the hidden fat inside, which basically sits in the woman's middle area. And that's called visceral fat. The only thing that burns visceral fat is diet and exercising. So incorporating a lot of cardiovascular exercise. By that, I mean things like walking or anything that gets your heart racing.
Your heart rate up, yeah.
That's it. So that really is the only device you need, really. A pair of trainers, good trainers, go for a long walk, you know.
Yeah.
But the waist trainers, it does nothing. It only gives you temporary results. So basically, if you're going out for a special occasion, then pop it on, you know, but not for long term. It offers no long term benefits or solution.
So does it have any long term side effects? So because you have people who are into especially people who are into like events, they have to look all slayed up every time, so every day or every weekend they are constantly all dressed and they have to fit into these waist trainers. Is there any long-term side effects to using this the waist trainers?
Yeah, so we're going to go a little bit medical here, going into the biology region. So we have organs in our bodies, right? And there's a reason that design our diaphragm to sit low because it's protecting the organs that sit below, which is like your liver, your kidneys. Now, if you think about the waist trainer and how tight it has to sit, it's actually squeezing and compressing those organs. So think about wearing it for 8 hours a day, 4 days, 5 or even more days a week over a certain, period of time. Think about the long-term effects that's having on your organs as a woman. Research, from the Harvard Medical Health even states that some women end up having things like a prolapse. Prolapse is a gynecological condition where it's just things like, I don't want to go too medical because I understand that. But it does have long-term effects, which I believe that, as a woman, if you're thinking about wearing waist trainers on long term, I would seriously ask you to reconsider and start thinking about long-term things that you can incorporate.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. That was really good. I read something and it said that there is a difference between a normal waist trainer and an exercise waist trainer. And that was news to me because I would have thought that you wear the same thing, basically. So what is the difference? Do they look the same, or is that, for there to be that there is a difference, it means that they're both doing different things. So can you just tell us a bit more about that? What is the difference between those two?
Okay, so the exercise waist trainer, to be honest, that one I'm not familiar with. But from my understanding with waist trainers in general, like for example, if a woman was having like back issues, there are specific belts that the woman would have to wear, and that's offering support. So if we're talking about exercise trainers, it must be specifically designed to actually aid or encourage women to exercise. It's not a substitute. Nothing can actually substitute you losing weight. Like nothing works. Like this saying is so true. Nothing works unless you do,
Yeah.
So like I'm very, very, anti looking for devices that help you lose weight. When you have legs, so you can have things that will support you, but definitely don't replace things like walking for
a waist trainer. Thank you. So I've got a question, and this is more for, because we're talking about women health here right now, right? And the fact that we want to look good, we want to always get that body goals going, right? So I would like to say to our viewers, both on Facebook and on Instagram, please send in your questions for Nurse Abby. She's here to answer any questions that you may have. So while we wait for those questions, I'd find that, as women, especially once you start to have children, you did say that, before you had children, you had like the perfect body. And then you started to have children, all of that changed, and you had to start doing something. So I feel, this is my view, this is my opinion. I feel like it is important to be comfortable in your own skin, as we say.
That's right.
Right?
Definitely.
Childbirth isn't a sin, isn't a bad thing. In fact, I've heard some people say things like, oh, my tummy is just, it's a good evidence of the fact that I've carried a baby. That kind of a thing,
Exactly.
So what would you say to women in terms of, those who have had a baby and they really, really need to get this tummy go down? Because I'm not going to lie, it is not good. It doesn't look good. Like some dresses, you want to enter into them and you wear them and you're like, I'm not 5 months pregnant, so why can't I just wear this? So what would be your advice, or what would you say to those women who have just given birth and they need to get their body back? And how soon should they start to do something about it?
Fantastic question. First of all, my advice would be simply love your body at the stage where it's at, okay? If you've just had a baby, think about it. It took 9 months for all that changes to take place. You're carrying the baby, you're nurturing it. And the thing is, unlike men who tend to have more muscles, women tend to carry a lot more fat. And that's simply because obviously it offers protection to the baby. But after you've had the child, after 6 months, because don't forget, there's some women have cesareans. Not every mother or is able to have natural delivery. Some women have C-sections. And after 6 sessions with the scar, you have to have at least 6 months to have everything heal and come back to its state before you even begin exercising. Okay. Who feel like, okay, you know what? I've had the baby. It's been 9 months or my body back. It's not only just aesthetics, but obviously to feel good, and it's for health purposes as well. What you need to do is, first of all, be realistic and start making plans, setting actionable goals. Okay, I from Nigeria, we have our typical diet, our staple foods. When I had my second child, I could not afford to eat the things that I normally used to. There's certain foods that we enjoy, like pounded yam, even rice. I said it in my last live. Chinese people, they eat rice every single minute, for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. But the only difference with them is that they have a lot of herbal teas. Now, we don't drink too much herbal tea. Yeah, that's for them to, burn fat. But we don't do that. We continue eating all these stodgy, foods, stodgy carbohydrates, and then we're looking for quick fixes. We can't operate from that level anymore. We have to now start looking. Like my husband, it took ages. Man, if you put salad in front of him, it's like
of course.
Are we to be determined about your health, to know what it is that you stand to gain, what it is you want out of it, and that will be your driving force, to be consistent and to so yeah, it's about setting goals. So first of all, it might be, I want to lose maybe, say, 3 pounds a week or whatever, that kind of thing. Just set realistic goals. Don't look at, this tummy has to go. Because if you look at that, it's like, it will seem like such an impossible feat, and you might feel discouraged. You understand?
Yes.
So, yes. Simple steps. Oh, I'm going to walk for an hour every day. I'm going to eat, And
so,
accountability. You can't do it on your own. Trust me, it's hard.
So yes, so I like the accountability bit, because to be honest, there is absolutely nothing anyone can do on their own, right? So, and if you're going to do something, as soon as you've said it to someone that, you know what, I'm going to do this, there's somebody watching and somebody listening or looking at what you're doing. So you have to do it. So that accountability is very key. That's really good. Remember, I said that for women who just had a baby, right? And they need to, so you as a nurse, you must have seen it all. What would you, in maybe 2 key points or key 2 exercises or whatever it is that women can do in replacement of a waist trainer, for instance?
Yeah. First of all, walking. I cannot overemphasize that enough. Walking, it might seem as if it's not productive, it's not doing anything. But trust me, walking is the best, because it's one of the key low impact exercises. I wouldn't advise, women who just had a child to start hitting the gym and start hitting the weight. You understand? You need to give your body time to repair itself. But walking, it's so important. Even towards the end of pregnancy, I remember my midwife even telling me, in order to speed up I should walk. That's how
labor,
to speed up the labor, So I would say 1 is walking, and then 2, definitely nutrition. If you have to speak to nutritionists, do so, because it's just as much as what you put in your body, what you're eating as well, that will help with the weight loss.
Fantastic. That is so good. I mean, I'm naturally blessed with this slim frame, but that doesn't mean that I still don't have a bulge in my stomach that I need to get rid of. But in terms of nutrition, as you've said, you know, it's most times these things are difficult because as a woman, you've just had a baby, you have hormones flying left, right, and center. You know, the baby needs you. You want to attend to the baby. If you're blessed, if you've had other babies before, or you have a younger person at home that you're looking after,
Yeah,
that's another responsibility. And then there's your husband, right? There's your husband also to look after. And so all of these things, for me, I think it's part of what puts that pressure on you.
yeah,
And most times it feels like as women, that period, especially when you just had a baby, and maybe like 6 months after, even up to 12 months after, all your focus and attention and everything is on the baby, the family, and you completely forget about yourself.
yeah.
So even when you eat, like for me, when I was pregnant and I gave birth, I was only eating. I don't really like eating as such, but I was only eating because I needed to feed the baby. Do you know, it wasn't because I need that. I need to eat for myself. So it feels like most times the women are the last to say, okay, I want to look after myself. So for those watching, I would say, I mean, as you've heard from Nurse Abigail, to be honest, it is about you knowing exactly what you want to do. With waist trainer, I wouldn't say that it is wrong or it is right. I don't use them. I mean, for those who use them, it is absolutely fantastic. If there is anything that I've picked up from this conversation tonight, it is that waist trainer isn't a medical instrument. It is cosmetic. And anything that is cosmetic, you can decide to use or not use. But before you do that, just make sure you're well informed. Because I say if something is going to give you a benefit of 20% and you're going to end up having to deal with 80% other issues, then you might want to weigh your options, right? So you touched earlier on, Nurse Abby, on you know, using a wrapper to tie your stomach after you've just had a baby.
Yes,
I did it as well. I mean, in fact, my friend that did it for me is on this conversation. She's watching, so she's in trouble because she had hot towel pressed against my tummy in the bathroom, like literally pressed me against the wall with hot towel, and then she would say, oh, make sure you tie this wrapper all day. But as much as I want to say that it was painful and everything, I saw that it worked. But so now tell us, and not just me, please tell us, do you think that was what worked, or it was just something else? Because I mean, people believe so strongly in this. This is something that they've been doing for years. You know, people have been doing this for donkey years. Today on a group, I even heard that some people use Ashoke. You know that the one we use for talk and the thicker one that some people use, and I've never heard of that before. So would you say that those things work, or why do we use them? Because I saw that I did it, and my stomach went at least a bit flatter than anything else. Not that I went all completely.
Okay, so let me give you a little secret here, and that is that even after, and I don't want to start bringing race or whatever into it, but the Caucasians, do you think that they tie any of this thing on them? Yet they do spring back. After a certain period, your body will go back, as in like it's stretched. So it's going to come back, okay?
Naturally.
Naturally.
Wow.
However, it's the patience that we don't have, because that's where the term snap back, like we want to snap back quicker. You understand? Especially when you see that for another lady, it happened for her in 6 months.
Yeah.
And then maybe 8 months, 9 months, nothing. Then you start comparing, you start thinking, no, something must be wrong. It's not that was what worked, but it's just because it's the level of the awareness that our parents or mothers had then, that okay, this is what we did, this is what worked for us, and they've passed that on from generation to generation. But now, with the information that we have available to us, we can't still continue in that line of practice, especially with so much information that's available right now, you know. And like I said, it's all about just taking the information, making an informed choice for yourself, for your own health. It's not about what this person says is right, what is wrong. You need to know what is right for your everybody is different.
Wow. Do you know
there's a
that is that a question that so no, so Doris says thanks for this information about waist trainer and as Abigail. So she's thanking you. Yes, thank you so much. So do you know you as you said that naturally the body goes back to what it was before, right? And I remember from getting pregnant and having a baby, and I was told, oh, do you know, don't get pregnant, just leave. Your body needs about 18 months or something like that to go back to what it was before. So I hear the bit of maybe we don't have patience. We can't wait. Of course, I mean, we're going to be going to parties. You're going to be wearing some clothes before 18 months, right? So if you decide not to wait until then, I mean, it would be very interesting if we had anyone viewing right now, watching at this time, who didn't do anything after they had a baby and their stomach went back to what it was before. Honestly, I would like to find out if you are such a person and you're online with us right now. Please just make a comment in the comment section. Because if you're saying to us that works, right? I'm sure there will be people who wouldn't mind taking that
Don't
on.
get me wrong. Okay. You sit there, you don't do anything, you continue eating, eat late. Of course, you're going to put on the weight, because don't forget, women, we are fat storers. Our body holds on to fats like anything because it was designed as a protective mechanism. Yeah. All our organs are surrounded by fat, you know, and that is it. So we tend to store fat. So if you keep feeding your body with foods that are, you know, are very high in saturated fats, you will put on the weight, you know. However, what I'm saying is your body is designed to go back at least
naturally.
To its natural And then there are things you can do naturally to speed it along, which is where the exercise, good nutrition comes into it.
Fantastic. Do you know, honestly, this has really blessed me. I don't know if it's blessed.
They don't do that. They don't start putting, you know, ropes.
But you know, that's the thing. It's like now, we don't know why we do these things. Like, I mean, my mom would say, oh, make sure you tie your stomach, you know, so that your stomach will go down and everything. And I'm sure she met it in our own generation, did that. And they all felt it worked, right? So, and for me, I said to you, I did it as well. And I felt like, it actually worked, because at least my stomach is a little bit. But, you know, going back to waist trainers, right? Just as waist trainers. So would you say that, I mean, for everything you've said tonight, you haven't said anything about, oh, waist trainers not being good and all of that. You've just said, just know why you're using it and what you're using it for, right?
That's it.
So would you say that we shouldn't use waist trainers to lose weight? Because we know now that it only helps us to lose the water, the body water, and that's it. But the fat is still there. So it doesn't help. So, so in terms of losing the body fat, you have said walking. I mean, I don't like to walk. I mean, I'll walk if I have to, but I don't work. I'll probably just do a cardio, whatever, at home. But so when you say walking, like how many minutes or how many hours walk in a day do you think will be enough? Do you know? Okay. And if one does it consistently, would give us that result that we're looking for.
Okay. So if you are not a walker, start off small. So you might be like maybe 50 a day. Oh, just lost signal there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. I can hear you. I think you're back. So I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm back. If you're not a walker, start off possibly with 15 to 30 minutes and build it up. And, you know, I always say that it's all about, you may not enjoy doing something, but when you know the benefits it's going to give you, you're going to be more, you know, encouraged to do it. So for me now, what I do is I listen to, there's books that I don't have, you know, physical books. I have what's it called? The the audio.
The audio.
Put on my headphones and I go. I'm not even feeling the fact that I'm walking because I'm listening to. You understand? And before you know it, I've walked for like 45 minutes, sometimes even an hour. You know, and if we do that over a consistent period of time, you will benefit. You know, and think about it.
Yeah.
Your body needs oxygen. Your body needs oxygen. Yeah, tight garment, literally pushing all your organs. It's actually affecting. It affects the lungs. So your lungs is not able to that your body needs, which is why sometimes people say that while they've been exercising with waist trainers, they felt dizzy. Sometimes people say, oh, you know, where I wear waist trainers, I don't eat much because it's actually shifting your stomach. You understand? So of course you're not going to eat. I would advise against using a waist trainer to lose. If you want to use it because, okay, I have a function, that's a different story.
So, but I lost you for a few seconds there. What was the last thing you said?
Okay, about the weight not being ideal as a weight loss apparatus.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's really, really good. Honestly, it's we all need this. It's when you feel great on the inside, it shows on the outside as well. Do you know? It shows on the outside. Right. You feel good, and I can understand why there is so much pressure to keep that weight, to keep that size. I mean, I say that it is very expensive. I have been working out since lockdown, and it seems that most of my clothes are not fitting as they used to fit anymore because I've lost quite a lot of weight. And I'm thinking, this thing is very expensive, man. I'm not going to go on and have a whole wardrobe change because I've lost weight or something like that. But you can see, so it's one thing to lose the weight. It's another thing to keep it going, you know? So what would you say to those? Yeah. So what would you say to those who, who maybe just lose weight for a particular event? It's like the actors, you understand? Like if they have a movie role, they will lose weight for that character that they are playing at that time. And then maybe, I mean, the weird ones I've heard is when people actually lose weight for an event. Do you know? So, I'm having an event. I'm going to lose weight because I want to look so good. I want to wear this dress. It's very nice. And then they lose weight for that event. Then the event comes and goes. Then they go back to whatever it was they were doing before. What would you say to those people?
Okay. So obviously I'm not an advocate of women like losing weight very quickly, particularly if it's just for like an event. However, I'm very realistic in the sense that I understand that sometimes you have that important function or that important event, and you want to go, you want to appear your best. So in that respect, what I would say is there are certain food groups that one will cause you to be bloated and also will cause you to actually put on quite a lot of weight. Okay, if you can eliminate those certain foods from the diet, you will see great improvements. And that's why all these
can you mention Nasabi, can you mention just a few of those foods, because it's like even I want to know, maybe it's what I eat.
For example, put it in the comments who has heard of keto diet. Okay,
so I've heard of that.
Something that is really popular at the moment. A lot of people use it and they see significant loss on that diet. But for me, I know that there are 3 food groups. One is sugar obviously is one of it. If you can eliminate sugar in your diet, trust me, you will see drastic, not even just physically, even mentally as well. Sugar is one of it. Bread is another one. Okay, the effect of bread, particularly white bread, and even if you're eating brown bread, there's levels to brown bread, so it's the one that apparently the wheat hasn't been sifted or something so it's it's that has the whole wheat, not wheat that has been extracted. That's so bread, sugar, and dare I say it for our Africans, pounded yam and every other type of swallow.
So please, you've just said every food food that I cannot do without. And now you're saying to lose weight, to keep your shape, you need to eliminate. I mean, I like to drink tea. I drink tea a lot. But because of sugar, I try to cut down the number of tea that I have in a week, because I just can't have one tea cup and then you have 1 teaspoon sugar. It just doesn't work. So now you said almost all the food that we are used to, all the food that we eat. So, I mean, is there any way around that?
Okay, so remember I mentioned about the Chinese who actually eat rice for breakfast, and I kid you not, they eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But why is it that they still have small frames? You hardly ever see an obese or overweight even Chinese person. That is because of the habits. So sometimes it's not even necessarily the foods that you're eating, it's the habit. Okay? So eating rice, I'm not going to vilify rice. However, what I know is that if you're not a person that you can drink herbal teas or teas that help to speed up your metabolism, you have to be realistic with yourself. If you're serious about weight loss, you need to cut down on those certain foods. Whether you like it or not, it's by the way. Food is an acquired taste. You understand? It's just like you now, with you drinking your tea. You're used to having sugar because that taste, you've acquired it. So now you drinking tea without sugar, you now have to now train your brain to enjoy tea without sugar.
So that's fantastic. That honestly, I think it's about just what you said now, just treating your brain to not want that sugar. So, there are people who have a very high metabolism, like whatever they put in, it goes out quickly, and they don't, and I'm one of those people, right? So even if, and it's very easy to actually feel that because you have a very high metabolism, you can lose weight easily. You take all the junks and you keep eating them. I remember there was a time for over a year, almost 2 years, I was literally eating McDonald's every day of the week, Monday to Friday. I was working in Westminster. Honestly, I was working in Westminster then, and
you just go on McDonald's.
My lunch was McDonald's was the next thing to me. Like my lunch every single day, unfairly, except for the days that I was off work. And my colleagues then used to be so upset with me because they'll be like, but Annie, why are you still like this? Like you eat this junk every day and you still don't have weight, So for someone like myself, it is very easy for me to say, well, it doesn't matter. I lose it anyway, so I can just eat anything. Do you have any advice for people like me to keep things fit, please?
Okay, first of all, B, I have to say this. I love you. However, being slim is not a sign of good health. Just as being overweight is not, I can't say to someone that because you're overweight, you must have this or you must be, we make assumptions based on how people look, okay? What is going on internally is just as important as what you see on the outer. Because what goes on the inside will invariably affect your external state.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, I appreciate that, okay, you might eat whatever, you burn it off quickly, you still are slim, but you need to still be aware of what you're putting in the body. Because like I told you, the visceral fat, which is the hidden fat, is the most dangerous one. And it's the one that is surrounding your organs. So you might not necessarily see the fat on the outside, but what is going on the inside? What's going on the organs?
Wow. That honestly, that is so powerful. Do you know, I've heard it before. They always say that because you're slim doesn't mean that you've got everything going on well. Because sometimes you just hear that someone just collapsed and that's it, and they're like, oh, but they look so healthy, nothing is wrong with them, we didn't see. But I'd say that for every time there will always be a way you will feel. So I'm very in tune with my body. So when I feel like I know when there's something wrong, because I know when I start to feel something. And it's just important for us as women, especially, to be more aware of our bodies, more aware of what is going on inside of us. So with waist trainers, I mean, by all means, for those who want to wear it, it is all about making your choices based on informed decision. Honestly, there is absolutely nothing like informed decision, because when you're informed and you make a decision based on that information, trust me, even if the whole world is collapsing around you, you wouldn't care at all, because you've already settled it. So thank you so much. Honestly, Nurse Abigail, I cannot thank you enough for this valuable information you have brought to us. Guys, people who are watching, thank you very, very much for staying with us. Please join me in thanking Nurse Abby for giving us this information that I'm sure that she probably didn't say anything that we've not heard before, but it's important to remind ourselves of these things. And there are people who actually, you might be surprised, some people don't even know about it. They just feel, oh, if I want to lose weight, I just wear, the very common one is, I wear waist trainers to lose weight. So if I wear waist trainers and I'm exercising with it, I'll lose weight. But now I know that, of course, that isn't what's happening. So you're just losing the body water, which is like, as you said, it's just the water you're losing, and that's it, nothing else. But yeah, so thank you so much. Guys, if anyone has got a question, Nurse Abigail is here. I think we still have a couple of minutes before this comes to an end. So if you have any questions that you want to ask, please send a question in. And if you want to ask something after, or you want me to speak to Nurse Abby, I don't even need to speak to her. You can follow her on at Wellness Abby. She's on Instagram. She has live videos that goes on like every now and then. So thank you so much. I can't thank you all enough. Thank you for joining.
Let me go back to this question about can Nurse Abby quickly comment on intermittent fasting?
Oh, I didn't see that. Are you seeing any comments?
Intermittent fasting, please. If you don't do it, start. I'm going to be doing a live. So please, if you're not following me, make sure you're following my page, because I will be going into intermittent fasting. Because yes, that's something that we need to do. We fast anyway for spiritual reasons, medical reasons. I really, really advise women to do it. So yeah, stay tuned. That's really good. I think we've got just about a minute left. So thank you. Does it have, I've seen a question here. I don't think we'll be able to take it, but it says, does it have effect if you use it for too long of a period of time? I think we covered that actually. We did talk about using it for a long time. So yes. So thank you. Welcome, everyone. God bless you all. Really appreciate it. Nurse Abby, honestly, thank you so much. This has been so good. Everyone, thank you. Have a great night, and then we will see you soon. Very, very soon. Bye. So for the questions we're not able to take, I'm so sorry. With time, we will be able to, I'll try and see if I can get some of them afterwards. But if not, Nurse Abigail, just send the questions to me directly or to Nurse Abby, and we'll address them. Thank you all. Bye. Bye, Nurse Abby. Bye, ladies.